Hello, it's Cisvolk. Time to enjoy card making with me. Today I have a long video for you in which I show 3 projects where I have used Alina shaker sequins. I used different stamps for the cards, including the toys and gnome stamps and the text stamp with matching die. The sequins I use are these flat circle sequins, super cool and even more beautiful in real life. There are a lot of them in a jar. They also have a kind of luminous effect. Alina has many different kinds of sequins for sale that you could use. I also use this double-sided adhesive. All products are available in Alina's shop. There are links under this video. To start with, I cut a black sheet of A4 paper in half. I crease it in half with a metal tool. I like using this crease tool or carving tool better than the plastic bone folder that comes with my creasing board, because this one wears out, as you see. Alina sells a set of crease tools in different sizes. They can also be used to round up the flower petals, for example. When you make a crease line, you get a hollow line, which you then fold outwards again. This way you get the most beautiful fold in your card. I do it again. You see, you make a crease line on the outside of the card. For the first card that I will be making, I use a black cardstock and a slightly larger white piece of ordinary thin printer paper. And I use a piece of green fun foam. I first tear off a small corner of the adhesive sheet and stick the white piece of paper on the double-sided adhesive. The easiest way is to take off just a little bit of the backing, align the paper and then pull it off piece by piece and stick it like that. This way you stick it smooth and straight. I cut it out and keep the piece of backing paper. I use a bone folder to press it extra. I will stick the sequins together with silver and black glitters on the double-sided tape. Now unfortunately I do not yet have Alina's glitters in my possession during the filming of this video, but Alina does sell them. They are very fine and even come in a lot of colors. I will also link the glitters in the text below the video. After removing the protective layer of adhesive, I lightly sprinkle some silver glitter on it. I immediately regret this because it makes the sequins stick less well, and I accidentally drop a little too much silver glitter on one spot. In the end it doesn't matter and it will work itself out. I'm showing it on purpose so you don't make the same mistake. Sprinkle the sequins on very carefully. You want to prevent them from overlapping too much, otherwise they will not stick properly. I use the back of the tape to press the sequins well. The sequins that still overlap too much, I spread with a pricking pen. You could also use an ordinary thick needle for this. So start with the sequins and then the glitters, that is important. Now I will sprinkle the black glitters over it. I rub it onto the tape with my finger. You can immediately see what a special effect it gives. The sequins seem to light up because of the black contrasting color. I use the backing foil again to spread it out. I use a brush to wipe the glitter off my desk. I also apply double-sided adhesive to the green foam. In the same way. So I clear a corner, align it first and then stick it on. I'm going to make a shaker card, for which I also stick double-sided adhesive on the back of the green foam. And again, I save the backings for later use. For the shaker card that I am going to make, I use 2 nesting circles, but of course you can take any shape you like, as long as you have a large one and a slightly smaller one. Use the smallest shape to die cut out the glitter paper, and the biggest shape you can use to die cut a circle out of the foam. My panel is a bit too big, so it doesn't matter if my circle is not exactly in the middle. I will cut this later to size. I put the back of the adhesive sheet over the glitter paper. This way I protect my panel and the paper stays nice. I die cut the largest circle out of the foam. Remember to die cut only one way and not back and forth. Foam is stretchy and will therefore not die cut beautifully. Unfortunately, in my case, the die has shifted downwards. Happily, I can easily solve this by gluing the bottom edge back to the top. It's not a problem to make mistakes. As you can see, there is a solution for everything. I used a piece of plastic that I cut to size behind the opening of my glitter panel. I stick this on with double-sided tape from Alina's shop. I find this super handy tape, available in different widths. It sticks strongly and is invisible. The tape I am using here is 3 mm. First, I stick the plastic on the panel. I press it down with a bone folder. Then I stick the foam on it. Again, by pulling off just a little corner, then aligning it and pulling it off piece by piece. I now trim the panel. I make sure that the circle on both sides of the panel has the same distance to the edge. You do not need a lot of sequins as a shaking material. You could mix these sequins with glitters or other sequins or beads or other things. I keep it simple and light. I now glue the other side as well. The shaker works as I had planned. I made text strips with a text stamp and matching die cut plate. The letters are embossed with white embossing powder. I colored the edges of the white foam tape black with a black permanent marker so that it would no longer be noticeable. I'm going to decorate the card with these stamped images from the toy stamp set. Stamped with black ink and then heat embossed with transparent embossing powder and colored with alcohol markers. I used the white gel pen for the highlights. On the rocking horse I put white little dots. The card is ready. I quickly make a matching envelope. I stick the remaining piece of cut-out glitter paper I made myself to the left lower corner of the envelope and cut it off. For the second card I did the same as for the first card, but this time I covered one side of the foam tape with double-sided adhesive sheet and stuck a piece of glittered self-made paper on top. Together I put it through the die cutting machine. Now I take a piece of laminating sheet. I always save scraps and now they come in handy. I use only one sheet, which I cut to fit my card. I now sprinkle the same sequins directly onto the card. Don't take too many sequins, I like it when they are well spread out. This is where my carving tool comes in handy again. You can also sprinkle some glitter on top. Now I place a single-sided piece of laminating foil on top and run the whole thing through my laminator. It is striking how black the paper looks now and how beautifully the colors of the sequins come out. I put a white insert in the card, so it's easier to write on it, and I make a fold again with a bone folder. I cut the panel to size so that a piece of the black border of the card is still visible. Here I use the 5mm double-sided adhesive tape from AlinaCraft to stick the panel on the card. And I use the 3mm tape to stick around the circle. I use a separate pair of scissors to cut the tape. Remember to only peel off the corners and only peel and stick the rest once the panel is in place. These flower gnome stamps are really super cute and funny. They are newer, sturdy stamps. As you can see, they stick stronger and stamp better than the older silicone stamps. I'm stamping with water-based memento ink on paper that is specially suited for coloring with alcohol markers. I use a heat tool to make sure it's dry before coloring. I've chosen some colors that match the sequins. This marker is the only one I have that is nice and bright and fits well. Unfortunately, it's not alcohol based, so of course it doesn't blend like the other markers do. You can't see it right now, but later on I colored over the flower and leaves with yellow and green alcohol marker. I start with the darkest color for the shadow, then a lighter color to fill it in, and finally a very light color to blend it and lighten it up a bit. With a colorless blender, I make highlights on the feet. For the moustache and beard, I first color the shadow, then draw some lines and then blend again with the colorless blender. When cutting, I leave a small edge of about 2 mm free to give a little more contrast between the image and the card. I cut out the openings with a precision knife. Finally, I smoothen the image with a bone folder. With a Nouveau shimmer pen, I make the image shiny, and with a white gel pen I add accents, like dots on the flower and stars and dashes along the edges of the head. Start with the shimmer, let it dry, and then do the white gel pen. This is because the white gel pen is water-based and you can therefore wipe it off with the shimmer pen. For an extra glimmer I put glossy accents on the heart of the flower. I stick the text on at a higher level. Where the text falls into the hole in the circle, I use 2 layers of tape, so that the text strip lies flat. I am going to stamp the envelope. I used the archival ink from Alina's shop. The flower fits nicely on the back of the envelope. I also want a flower on the front of the envelope, but without the gnome. I'm going to use the masking technique for this. Alina sells masking tape. If you don't have any, you can also use post-it tape. Stick this on so that you will know how to stick it back in the same place later. Stamp the image on the masking paper. Now cut away the part that you do not want to be stamped on the envelope. Leave a white margin for this. Then re-adhere both parts of the masking paper, so that the part you want to mask is in the right place. Then remove the part that you actually want to have stamped. And then you can start stamping. You see that the mask I made covers up the gnome's head. I touch up small pieces that have not been printed properly with a marker with archival ink. This is a Pigma Micron 05 marker from Sakura. I color the envelope with pencil. Again, I work in layers to achieve the same color effect as on the card. I have a water brush which is filled with baby oil. I use it to moisten a blending stump that I use to blend the pencil. I use a white gel pen to add some accents to the stamp. I also use the white gel pen to remove an ugly smudge. This card was easier and faster to make, but you do need a laminator. The shaker card is of course interactive, while the gnome card is not. With the shaker card, I could use the homemade glitter sheet for the envelope, whereas with the other card, I glued the foam directly to the glitter sheet and the cutout circle is too thick for an envelope. But the colored stamp is also very nice decoration for the envelope. The cards both have the same thickness. Keep watching, because I have another great video for you to use the sequins. For this, you need a laminator. Here I am laminating a small folder in the size of a bookmark. To do this, I have stacked 2 sheets of laminate cut to size, with the inner 2 sheets inside out and slightly narrower than the outer 2. For a detailed explanation, I refer you to the video on my channel Cisvolk, where I explain how you can make folders like these to store your dies and stamps. If the top does not open, you can easily cut it and then you have an opening for a storage folder, or in this case a bookmark. I use Alina's marble pattern paper as an insert for the bookmark, and I cut out 2 because I want to make it double-sided. Now I want to decorate the bookmark. I could use this toy stamp and stamp the whole strip with these nice toys, for example. This could possibly be colored in with pencil, but I want to make a bookmark for an adult. And I think this is a nice opportunity to take the peacock stamp out of my cupboard again. I stamp with a black archival ink from Alina's shop. I do this on both strips. On my Instagram page Cisvolk and also on Alina's website, you can find examples of the cards I made with this beautiful peacock stamp. I stick them together with double-sided tape. Now I fill the bookmark with the same sequins that I used for the cards. I think these colors go really well with the peacock. The bookmark still has to be closed at the top, otherwise the sequins will fall out. I also want to make a hole in it, to put a ribbon through. At the top I want to make a strip of paper to finish the closure. My bookmark is still a little tall, so I cut a piece off. I simply close the top by sticking a thin strip of double-sided tape into the folder. I used my pricking pen to remove the strip. I think this purple color fits nicely. It's in the same paper pack. It needs to be 2 inches wide and long enough so that it comes above the laminating plastic. I fold it high enough so that I can cut a hole above it. I glued the folded strip with tape, punched a hole in it and now put a matching ribbon through it. I do it in the following way. Put a folded piece of ribbon through the hole and put the ends back through the loop. Then I fold the end of the ribbon in half when I cut. It creates a nice V shape at the end. An extra ribbon to keep it in place. I am curious what you think of it and whether you would make something like this yourself. Here you can see again all the products that I used. Links are below this video. The links give me a small commission and help me to make more videos and cards for AlinaCraft store. Alina has a big shopping sale on the 11th and 12th of November with lots of discounts, so don't forget to check that out. Also join my channel Cisvolk. Click on the subscribe button and click on the thumbs up. I hope you enjoyed watching this long video and I hope you enjoyed card making with me. Bye! See you next time!